Welcome back to Project Castaway. We're here to talk about update 0.2.1 and 0.2.2. 0.2.1 was back at the end of August. It was a very small update, and we will cover those few things right now. But stick around to the end because update 0.2.2 has a great keybind update that you're going to want to know about. All right, let's get started. Let's go into our backpack first, because that's one of the first things that got fixed. I believe that it was keyboard and mouse players were having a hard time when they were placing things down out of their backpack and spinning them. I can't show you that as I'm a controller player, and I can't spin things when I put them on the ground. But that has been fixed now. They're not going to spin slowly like they were doing. And the next part of the update, let's see if I can get on this darn raft without making it wobble to and fro, which, as you can see, is always hard. In any case, so I guess the problem with that was they were loading into their games and all their materials that they had on the raft, the storage box, the water collector, their palm bed, were all askew. They were all messed up. Small raft, big raft, it didn't matter. So now that has been fixed, but if you're going to play an old save and it has a messed up piece of equipment on your raft, you're going to have to live with it, or you're going to have to destroy it in order for it to be placed again in the way that you like. Otherwise, anything new since then, since that update, will not have that issue. Now, will it still have the issue of the janky way that it moves about? Yes, that has not yet been fixed, and hopefully it will be fixed in the next update after this. Well, it has started to rain, and it's a perfect time for me to show you the next part of or the last big part I can show you anyways, of the update for 0.2.1, and that was here on Radio Tower Island. The terrain looked a little off before. After their previous update, it was a little bit too uniform. Like it was like, you had stripes on the ground and stuff like that. It's been fixed, and it looks pretty good, and I'm sure the textures and everything are going to look even better the more they optimize the game. Now, we can't do anything else right now as it is raining. And once it's done raining, I will meet you up over there at the shore to show you the next part of the update for 0.2.2. Be right back. It has stopped raining, and we can now continue with our update 0.2.2. It's a quality of life update, and it has to do with going into the water and being able to get back into the water. Let me show you how. So we go over this way as we would normally do if we had to break it open. We'd struggle back to the surface so we could get some air. Then we'd breathe in some air and then we'd struggle to get back down. And that is now possible. You can get down no problem, up and down anytime you want. If you do get stuck and you're having a challenging time doing it, then just press the crouch button and that will put you underwater. Now, I'm going to stay underwater because the next quality of life update is no Insta Death when your oxygen is gone. You actually lose health instead. So I'm just going to, look at the beautiful, underwater scenery here, all the coral, not go too close to those sharks out there because I don't want to get eaten by a shark while I'm trying to show you how to die by lack of oxygen. And eventually that's going to dwindle right down. And then you're going to watch my health bar to the left and see how fast it goes down. All right, so no oxygen. Now watch that health bar. It's going down, down, down. And it gets to a certain point and it tells you you are low health. So a little pop-up will show up above that. And it's going to tell me I have low health. Anytime, and there it is. Your health is low. So back out of the water I go, because I really don't want to die. Boy, everything looks a little fuzzy around the edges. Oh dear. I should make myself a bandage, which brings me to the next part of the update. Let's get into our backpack, and let's go to bandages. They have now updated all of the descriptions for all the bandages in this section. So if you're ever wondering that these bandages here, they can prevent rashes. The regular bandage, the seaweed bandage, and the palm frond bandage, but only the honey bandage can actually heal you from rashes once you've already gotten a rash. We'll have to see how this works out. But being as I do have the materials to make a couple of bandages, I'm going to do that right now and make myself all better because, the gray around the edges is getting a little wonky. All right, well, let's go take a look at what else we have for an update. I believe, oh yes, another update that is in here. It has to do with the disassembly table. So we're going to come over here to the disassembly table. And I didn't even know you could do this, to be honest, because I don't carry rope on the outside of my backpack, so I don't think about it. But you can disassemble rope. But I guess the problem with that is that instead of getting back yucca, you were getting back cloth. Here we go. Let's just disassemble that. And as you can see, we got back a piece of yucca for that rope. Well, the sun is going down, so I think we will hold off till the next beautiful morning and get into the rest of the update. See you then. It's another beautiful day here on Radio Tower Island, where we play all the hits for your survival journey. I haven't said that in a long time. I'm so sorry. I decided to make myself a little platform here to sit down and dangle my toesies in the water after a hard day of surviving, and to show you that I didn't have a problem with my hammer. I guess there was an issue with someone trying to build and have their hammer in their hands when you're trying to add materials, and you would toggle back into your build mode. I've never had that problem, but I wanted to point that out as it is part of the update. But there is a problem I do have, and I'm going to show you right now what that is. Now, if I pick up materials in my handy dandy little hands here, and if I tap that back button more than once, as you can see, it makes me drop everything, including my tool or weapon, because my back button drops everything. It's bound to one keybind. It drops my things in my hand, no matter what they are. It goes back out of menus. It does all that kind of stuff. But this is the last part of the update that I am going to talk to you about. And it's the best part. We have more keybind options. Let's get into that. We're going to get into the load menu, go down to options. We're going to scroll down to controls. And for this part, I'm going to switch over to keyboard and mouse just so it's easier to explain it all to you. So my binds are going to be a lot different than what you would normally see here. In this section, they have divided it up into 3 areas. We have movement, interaction, and utility. Your movement buttons, obviously, moving around the map, whatever you need to do. And I have changed mine, and this is why we have a reset button, which will bring it back to default if I wanted to do that. And then in your interaction section, which is where I want to go, I'm going to change back into my controller here. I'm back on my controller in the interaction section, and I want to change my wieldable because, as you can see, they have different names now. We have the interact, alternate interact, drop carryable, drop wieldable, and I had to think about that one. I had to realize that, your weapons, your tools, those are all your wieldables. Duh me. Your smash carryable, your place, your start fire, and your reload. I'm going to go back into drop wieldable because that's the one that I want to change. Because circle isn't working for me. The back button is my circle button, and it also does the carryable action. I'm going to change drop wieldable to a different keybind that I'm not using currently on my controller. And for me, that is my direction button. I've hit X, and that's highlighting the keybind that I want to change. And I'm going to change it to my D-pad up button. And now you can see next to it also, it has a little reset button if I wanted to go back. So now that I have that set up, I don't have to change anything else, as down here, everything stays the same. Now we're going to go out, and now I'm going to do my back button. Nothing's happening. And I'm going to pick up my carryables. Nope. I'm going to pick them up again. But this time I'm going to hit my up button, and ta-da! It works perfectly fine. No more throwing my wieldable when I'm tossing my carryables all around. Well, that is a mouthful to say, but hey, if it works, right? And that's it. That is all of the updates that I can show you. I will have linked into the description the Project Castaway Steam Update page so you can read everything that has been changed in the last 2 updates. There's a few things you just can't really show in the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider leaving a comment too. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all the chaos of the Majestical realm. I'm MajesticKarLyn, and I'll see you in our next adventure together. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so very much for watching.